Hey everyone, welcome back to Spooky Spotlight. I'm Anne, and tonight we're diving into a mystery that's as chilling as it is twisted. One crime, 4 suspects, each with secrets they don't want uncovered. And one of them knows exactly what happened. It started with breakfast, bacon, eggs, and blood. Spokane, Washington, January 15th, 1944. 4 people sat down for a late-night meal in a sign painting shop. By sunrise, 3 of them were dead. The 4th, barely alive, skull shattered in 9 places. The killer? That's where things get weird. This all happened in a small apartment above a shop on East Sprague Street, just a few steps away from the Rainbow Tavern. That night, the tavern was buzzing. Inside were T.P. Dillon, the 52-year-old owner of the sign shop, his wife Flora, a young woman named Jane Staples, just 23, and a local named Frank Winnett. At midnight, when the bar closed, the group walked next door to Dillon's apartment, just a casual after-hours hangout, but by dawn, it became a slaughterhouse. At 5:15 a.m., a man named Arthur Decker Brown, former employee just fired the day before, stumbled into the Rainbow Tavern, pale, shaking. He rasped, "Go next door. It's a massacre." The bartender rushed over. On the bed were 4 bodies, drenched in blood, 2 of them still breathing. Jane Staples would die before reaching the hospital. Frank Winnett? He survived, but barely. 9 hatchet blows to the head. The murder weapon was found nearby, a true temper tomahawk, carved into the handle. The initials PDTP Dillon. Was it his tool, or was it planted? And here's the creepiest detail. Every victim had bacon and eggs in their stomachs, eaten just 30 minutes before they died. So who did it? There were no witnesses, no screaming neighbors, just 4 people and a trail of half-buried clues. Let's talk about the suspects. The first suspect was Arthur Decker Brown, the fired employee. Brown had motive. He worked for Dillon for years and got fired the day before the murders. Revenge seems like a no-brainer, right? But then again, Brown was the one who reported the crime. He had no blood on his clothes, and he claimed he left the apartment hours before the murders, before the victims even ate. So, if he wasn't there when they had breakfast, how could he have killed them? No blood, no breakfast, no conviction. The second suspect, Ed Quentin, the name whispered in agony. But Frank Winnett, the lone survivor, mumbled something chilling as they carried him out on a stretcher. Ed, Quentin, the police gets a name. They tracked down Edward Quentin, a co-worker from the same factory. But Ed had an alibi, a factory time card showing he worked the night shift. So it was impossible for it to be him, right? The third suspect was Jane's husband, the betrayed lover. Jane Staples was young, married, and not exactly faithful. Her husband knew she was having affairs, at least 3. When police found blood on his shoes, he said it was from a nosebleed. Suspicious? Sure. But he'd been at her apartment the night before. Still, Jane was killed with a hatchet from the shop. If her husband attacked her out of jealousy, why use someone else's weapon? And why kill everyone else? Was he guilty? Or just in the wrong place at the worst time? The 4th suspect, Whitey Clark, the drifter with a hatchet Woodrow Whitey Clark. He'd been drinking with the group that night. Said he used the hatchet to chop wood for the stove, then said he left at 2:30 a.m. Here's the problem. The coroner said the bacon and eggs were eaten at 5 a.m., just 30 minutes before the murders. So 2:30 a.m., Clark leaves. 5 a.m., victims eat. 5:15 a.m., the body's found. So if Clark really left hours earlier, who cooked breakfast? 2 paper boys swore they saw Clark running from the scene around 5 a.m. in a blood-soaked sweatshirt. Clark said it was mud. The lab said otherwise. It was human blood. Clark's story didn't hold up in court. The jury believed he made a pass at Jane Staples, got rejected, and snapped. He was convicted and hanged in 1946. Until the very end, he maintained his innocence. But even today, this case leaves more questions than answers. Jane Staples was buried in an unmarked grave. Frank Winnett? He never spoke publicly about what happened again. The hatchet, PD carved into the handle, Vanished from police evidence in the 1950s. Gone. Just like the answers. So was Whitey Clark the killer? Or just the easiest person to blame? What did Frank really mean when he said Ed Quentin? Why did Jane's husband have blood on his shoes? 4 suspects, 3 dead, 1 survivor, and a mystery buried in time. What do you think? Was Clark guilty or framed? Drop your theory in the comments, because this case has haunted Spokane for 80 years. And if you want more forgotten murders and cold cases, hit that subscribe button. I'll see you in the next one. And remember, shine bright in the spooky spotlight.